Madam Clerk, the president has some technical difficulties, so would you please call the roll?
Alderwoman Tyus.
Present.
Alderwoman Middlebrook.
Present.
Alderman Bosley. Alderwoman Evans.
Present.
Alderwoman Hubbard.
Present.
Alderwoman Ingrassia.
Present.
Alderman Coatar. Alderwoman Rice.
Present.
Alderman Gunther.
Here.
Alderman Balmer.
Present.
Here.
Alderwoman Martin.
Present.
Alderwoman Grass.
Present.
Alderwoman Murphy.
Here.
Alderwoman Howard.
Here.
Alderwoman Green.
Present.
Alderman Oldenburg. Alderman Rhodey. Alderman Todd.
Present.
Alderwoman Davis.
Present.
Alderwoman Spencer.
Present.
Alderman Muhammad.
Here.
Alderman Boyd.
Present.
Alderman Vaccaro.
Present.
Alderman Narayan.
Here.
Alderman Cone. Alderwoman Clark Hubbard.
Here.
Alderwoman Boyd.
Present.
Alderwoman Navarro.
Present.
President Reed. Alderman Bosley. Alderman Coatar. Alderman Oldenburg. Alderman Rhodey. Alderman Cone. President Reed. 23 present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Is the president on?
Yes, I am. Thank you, Majority Floor Leader. Quorum being present, we begin the day's meeting with prayer, giving all honor to God, Almighty God, source of all authority. We humbly ask guidance in our deliberations and wisdom in our conclusions. Amen.
Amen.
We dispense with line item 3, introduction of honored guests. Any introduction of honored guests? Alderman from the 23rd.
As always, I'd like to introduce my friend Greg Meyer as my special guest.
Welcome, Greg. Any further introductions? Any further introductions? Alderman from the 10th, like to wrap us up?
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. Today's, what is today? Today's Friday, October 23rd. On this day in 1961, Chubby Checker went on the Ed Sullivan Show and introduced everyone to the dance sensation, the twist. And more importantly, this is National TV Talk Show Host Day, where the alderman from the 23rd can profess his undying love for Jerry Springer once again. Thank you.
Right. All right. Hey, and I want to just give a public thank you to Alderman Boyd for picking up. My computer just went black, died, power off and everything. I don't know what was up with that, but thank you for stepping in and picking up and keeping us going. Approval of the minutes.
Approval of the minutes, Friday, October 16th, 2020.
Alderman from the 22nd, you recognize on approval of the minutes.
Yes, Mr. President, members of the board, I move for approval of the minutes dated October 16th, 2020.
Moved by the Alderman from the 22nd, seconded by the Alderman from the 10th. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Report of city officials.
Report of city officials can be found in A, B, and C of the agenda and has been placed in the Alderman's mailboxes.
We dispense with line item 7. Would anyone like to take any bills or resolutions off of any of our informal calendars? Would anyone like to take any bills or resolutions off of any of our informal calendars? We will dispense with line items 8 through 10. First reading of board bills.
Board Bill 148, sponsored by Alderman Coatar, an ordinance for the adoption of the 2020 edition of the revised code of the City of St. Louis, annotated with the charter, tables, and cross-reference the former codes included and providing for the retention, distribution, and supplementation of the revised code and with an emergency clause. Board Bill 149, sponsored by Alderman Narayan, an ordinance amending ordinance number 71111, prohibiting such traffic along West Park Avenue from the east boundary of Hampton Avenue to the eastern boundary of Hughes Place to extend said prohibition to include commercial vehicle traffic along Hughes Place between the northern boundary of Dale Avenue and northern boundary of West Park Avenue containing an emergency clause. Board Bill 150, sponsored by Alderwoman Grass, an ordinance amending ordinance number 70932, which defines recreational fire and establishes requirements for their location by changing the minimum distance a recreation fire must be located away from the structure from 25 feet to 12 feet. Board Bill 151, sponsored by Alderman Oldenburg and Alderman Collins Muhammad, an ordinance submitting to the qualified voters of the City of St. Louis pursuant to Section 92.115, the question of whether to continue the earnings tax imposed by the City of St. Louis for a period of 5 years, providing for an election and the manner of voting, prohibiting that if such question shall receive the votes of a majority of the voters voting thereon, that such an earnings tax shall continue, and contain the severability clause and an emergency clause. Board Bill 152, sponsored by Alderwoman Ingrassia and Alderwoman Rice, an ordinance to amend ordinance number 70624, approved October 24th, 2017, to add a section to include an enforcement mechanism. That is the extent of first reading of board bill.
Reference to committee.
To the Legislation Committee, Board Bill 148. To the Streets Committee, Board Bill 149. To Public Safety, Board Bill 150 and 152. To Ways and Means, Board Bill 151. That is the extent of reference to committee.
Second reading.
The following board bill was reported out of Public Safety with a due pass recommendation. Board Bill 141, sponsored by Alderman Coatar, an ordinance adopted and approved pursuant to 70.220 by statutes of Missouri, authorizing the Director of the Department of Public Safety and the Police Commissioner on behalf of the City of St. Louis to make and enter into agreement with the United States Department of Interior National Park Service for both agencies to provide cooperative law enforcement assistance within the city limits of the City of St. Louis, including Gateway National Park, and containing an emergency clause. The following board bills were reported out of HUD with a due pass recommendation. Board Bill 85, sponsored by Alderwoman Middlebrook, an ordinance amending the redevelopment plan for North Broadway, Harris redevelopment area. Board Bill 106, sponsored by Alderman Coatar, an ordinance approving a redevelopment plan dated July 28, 2020 for the 801 through 805 and 813 North 2nd Street area. Board Bill 107, sponsored by Alderman Coatar, an ordinance approving a redevelopment plan dated July 28, 2020 for 505 Washington Avenue area. Board Bill 129, sponsored by Alderman Rhodey, an ordinance amending the redevelopment plan for 300 South Broadway redevelopment area approved by ordinance 70717 dated February the 27th, 2018. Board Bill 135, sponsored by Alderman Rhodey, an ordinance recommended by the Board of Estimate and Apportionment, authorizing and directing the issuance and delivery of a subordinate taxable tax increment revenue note series 2021 in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $25 million, containing the severability clause. Board Bill 143, sponsored by Alderman Rhodey, an ordinance to submit a 2021 annual action plan to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development as required to apply for funding under the Community Development Block Grant Home Investment Partnership, Emergency Solutions Grant and Housing Opportunities for Persons with AIDS Entitlement Program, authorizing and directing the mayor and the comptroller on behalf of the city of St. Louis to enter into and execute agreements with HUD for the receipt of 2021 CDBG, Home, ESG, and HOPWA funds. The following board bills were reported out of the Transportation and Commerce Committee with the due pass recommendation. Board Bill 138, sponsored by Alderman Davis, an ordinance recommended and approved by the Airport Commission and the Board of Estimate and Apportionment, authorizing the First Amendment to the Ground Transportation Policy Ordinance 69382, approved February the 6th, 2013, deleting section 64A of Ordinance 69382 and substituting a new section 64A, increasing the monthly commit fees for off-airport rental car operators beginning April 1st, 2021, containing a severability clause and containing an emergency clause. Board Bill 139, sponsored by Alderman Davis, an ordinance recommended and approved by the Board of Estimate and Apportionment, authorizing and directing the Director of Airports and the Comptroller of the City of St. Louis to enter into and execute on behalf of the city the second amendment to the on-airport passenger vehicle concession agreements at St. Louis Lambert Airport between the city and the following concessionaires: the Hertz Corporation, Avis Rental Car, doing business as Avis Rental Car, Enterprise Leasing Company, doing business as National Rental Car, Enterprise Leasing Company, doing business as Enterprise Rental Car, Budget Rental Car System, doing business as Budget Rental Car, Enterprise Leasing Company, doing business as Alamo Rental Car, and C&J Rental, doing business as Thrifty Car Rental, containing an emergency clause. Board Bill 140, sponsored by Alderman Davis, an ordinance recommended and approved by the Board of Estimate and Apportionment, authorizing and directing the Director of Airports and the Comptroller of the City of St. Louis to enter into and execute on behalf of the city the Third Amendment to the Operating Agreement for Management and Operation of Parking Facility Services AL 267 between the city and ABM Aviation, amending the operating agreement for management and operation of parking facility services AL 267, containing a severability clause and containing an emergency clause. Board Bill 144, sponsored by Alderwoman Davis, an ordinance repealing ordinance number 68294 and 67089, and authorizing the execution of a new lease agreement between the City of St. Louis, Missouri, and SI Warehousing Company, a Missouri corporation, for a period of 10 years with 2 5 and 1 4-year mutual options for the purpose of mooring only of 1,683 linear feet of anchorage and mooring for barges, and other vessels, and containing a severability clause. Board Bill 145, sponsored by Alderwoman Davis, an ordinance authorizing the execution of a new lease agreement between the City of St. Louis, Missouri, and SI Warehousing Company, a Missouri corporation, for the period of 10 years with 3 5-year mutual options containing a severability clause. The following board bill was reported out of the Coronavirus Special Committee. Board Bill 198, sponsored by Alderwoman Murphy, President Reed, and the following alderpersons: Davis, Pecoro, Collins, Muhammad, Boyd, Middlebrook, Clark, Hubbard. An ordinance recommended by the Board of Estimate and Apportionment, wherein the Board of Aldermen authorizes the receipt of and appropriates funds awarded under the Community Development Block Grant Program relating to the COVID-19 pandemic and the need for temporary financial assistance for rental payments, and containing an emergency clause. That is the extent of second reading report of standing committee.
All right, Alderman from the 20th, you have your hand up.
Thank you, Mr. President. Was trying to interject earlier. Also having some level of technical difficulties for the board bill.
Breaking up, I'm hearing. Go ahead, start over, Alderman from the 20th.
I think you're having some background noise there from someone. I was trying to interrupt earlier during the first reading to
I didn't see it.
request a suspension of the rules.
There wasn't a hand up or anything on the first reading. You never responded on the first reading. And I paused, so we didn't see anything from you. On the
I did have my hand raised, and I know there were some technical difficulties on
There
my.
was, no, the blue hand was not up. I did not see a hand raised on the first reading, so that did not happen.
Mr. President, as I was explaining, I was also experiencing a small technical difficulties
Oh, on your side, okay.
transitioning from one device to another. I also
Oh,
had,
got it.
it's really not a controversial bill. This is a bill written by the Health Department and one that it allows the city of St. Louis to accept grant money.
Well, before you get to that, so what are you wanting to introduce a board bill from the floor?
As emailed last night, I indicated that I was intending to suspend the rules for the introduction of Board Bill 153 this morning, which is a simple bill to allow the city of St. Louis to accept grant money.
Yep. So we are past that point in the agenda. So what I'll do is when we get to the end on the miscellaneous unfinished business, we'll introduce it then. This is a bill that I know we were expecting it to be introduced last week by you, but so certainly we need to move it. So I think it's important to get this money out as soon as possible. So when we get to miscellaneous unfinished business, I'll call on you to introduce the bill, and then we'll drop it on the first reading calendar because we're past that point in the agenda.
I really appreciate that. The health department did not get this bill in time last week to get it introduced last week, but I do appreciate the ability to get it done today.
All right, you're welcome. We dispense with line item 14, perfection consent.
Board Bill 123, sponsored by Alderman Todd, and ordinance authorizing and directing the director of streets to permanently close, barricade, or otherwise impede the flow of traffic on Maple Avenue by blocking said traffic flow at the east curb line of North King Highway Boulevard at the intersection of Maple Avenue and North King Highway Boulevard. Board Bill 124, sponsored by Alderman Todd, and ordinance pertaining to commercial vehicles as such term is described herein and prohibiting such traffic along CD Banks Avenue from the eastern boundary of North Newstead Avenue to the eastern boundary of Pendleton Avenue and exempting from said prohibition non-commercial pickup trucks, emergency vehicles, including privately owned tow trucks, when providing emergency services to non-commercial vehicles, vehicles making deliveries to nearby addresses, and vehicles with a gross vehicle weight of 10,000 pounds or greater and containing an emergency clause. Board Bill 61, sponsored by Alderwoman Navarro, and ordinance recommended by the Planning Commission on June 3rd, 2020, to change the zoning of property as indicated on district map and in city block 5522 from A, single family dwelling district, and H, area commercial district, to H, area commercial district only at 5720 DeGiverville Avenue, so as to include the described parcel of land in city block 5522 and containing an emergency clause. Board Bill 62, sponsored by Alderman Boyd, and ordinance recommended by the Planning Commission on June 3rd, 2020, to change the zoning of property as indicated on district map from B, two family dwelling district, to F, neighborhood commercial district, and city block 3833.18, 1297 Amherst, so as to include the described parcel of land in city block 3833.18 and containing an emergency clause. Board Bill 99, sponsored by Alderman Rhodey, and ordinance recommended by the Planning Commission on February the 3rd, 2020, to change the zoning of property as indicated on district map and in city block 3953 from K unrestricted district to J industrial district at 510 South Sarah Street, so as to include the described parcel of land in city block 3953 and containing an emergency clause. Board Bill 101, sponsored by Alderman Vaccaro, and ordinance recommended by the Planning Commission on September the 2nd, 2020, to change the zoning of property as indicated on the district map from the A, single family dwelling district, to F, neighborhood commercial district, and city block 4669, so 6839 Filer, so as to include the described parts of land in city block 4669 and contain an emergency clause. Board Bill 102, sponsored by Alderman Rhodey, an ordinance recommended by the Planning Commission on September 2nd, 2020, to change the zoning of property as indicated on the district map from the J Industrial District to H Area Commercial District and City Block 3904, so as to include the described parts of the land in City Block 3904 containing an emergency clause. Board Bill 103, sponsored by Alderman Spencer, an ordinance recommended by the Planning Commission on September 2nd, 2020, to change the zoning of property as indicated on district mapping in City Block 1648 from B two-family dwelling district to D multiple family dwelling district at 3600 and 3620 Texas Avenue, so as to include the described parcels of land in City Block 1648 and contain an emergency clause. Board Bill 104, sponsored by Alderman Rhodey, an ordinance recommended by the Planning Commission on September 18th, 2020, to change the zoning of property as indicated on the Forest Park Southeast Farm-Based District map from NG2 Neighborhood General Type 2 Zone, NG3 Neighborhood General Type 3, and B2 Boulevard Type 2 to B2 Boulevard 2 Zone, only in City Block 3983, containing an emergency clause.
Madam Clerk, please place Board Bill 114 as amended on the perfection and formal calendar.
So noted. That is the extent of perfection consent.
Alderman from the 22nd, you're recognized on the motion for the perfection consent calendar.
Mr. President, members of the board, I move for adoption of the perfection consent calendar.
Second.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 22nd, seconded by the Alderman from the 10th. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Hey,
Excuse me, I've been having my hand up for the last half an hour.
Sorry, Alderwoman from the first. Sorry, I missed your hand.
I always put my hand up when I have a question, but and I've had it up when you were talking to the Alderwoman from the 20th.
Okay, I missed it. That's on me.
Never mind, but anyway, it's mute anyway, because my question was going to be about 114 AA, so it's mute.
All right. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
hey,
Motion carries by a vote. Sustained motion, Alderman from 22nd, perfected the aforementioned bills. Board bills for perfection.
We have none.
Third reading, consent calendar.
Board Bill 111, 112, 115, 120, 121, and 122.
Alderman from the 22nd, you recognize on the motion for the third reading consent calendar.
Mr. President, members of the board, I move for adoption of the third reading consent calendar.
Second.
Moved by the Alderman from the 22nd, seconded by the Alderman from the 10th. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Tyus,
Aye.
Alderwoman Middlebrook,
Aye.
Alderman Bosley,
Aye.
Alderwoman Evans,
Aye.
Alderwoman Hubbard,
Aye.
Alderwoman Ingrassia,
Aye.
Alderman Coatar,
Aye.
Alderwoman Rice,
Aye.
Alderman Gunther,
Aye.
Alderman Balmer,
Aye.
Alderwoman Martin,
Aye.
Alderwoman Grass,
Aye.
Alderwoman Murphy,
Aye.
Alderwoman Howard,
Aye.
Alderwoman Green,
Aye.
Alderman Oldenburg, Alderman Rhodey, Alderman Todd,
Aye.
Alderwoman Davis,
Aye.
Alderwoman Spencer, Alderman Muhammad,
Aye.
Alderman Boyd,
Aye.
Alderman Vaccaro,
Aye.
Alderman Narayan,
Aye.
Alderman Cone,
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard,
Aye.
Alderwoman Boyd,
Aye.
Alderwoman Navarro,
Aye.
President Reed,
Aye.
Alderman Oldenburg, Alderman Rhodey.
Rhodey is aye.
Thank you. Alderwoman Spencer,
Aye.
28 aye votes.
I vote, sustain the motion, Alderman from 22nd, third read, and finally pass the aforementioned bills. We'll dispense with line item 18, report of enrollment.
Board Bill 111, 112, 115, 120, 121, and 122.
All other business being suspended, the president shall in open session affix his signature hereto to the end that these may become law. Alderman from the 19th, you recognize on the motion for our courtesy resolutions calendar.
Mr. President, members of the board, I'd like to make a motion to accept our courtesy resolution calendar.
Second.
Moved by the Alderman from the 19th, and I entertain a second again.
Second.
Seconded by the Alderman from the 14th. Alderman from the 9th.
Thank you, Mr. President. I had asked Mr. Clerk to add my name to Resolution 58.
Okay, Madam Clerk, please make note of that. Add the Alderman from the 9th's name to Resolution 58.
Also, Mr. President, I had asked my name to be included on Resolution 61 and 59, and I don't see it.
All right, Madam Clerk, please make note of that. Please add the Alderman from the 14th to 59 and 61. Alderwoman from the 13th.
Yes, I had requested that my name be added to 58 yesterday or the day before also.
All right, Madam Clerk, please make note of that. Alderman from the 13th to 58. Alderman from the 20th.
Thank you, Mr. President. I had like my name added to 59 and 58.
59 and 58. Madam Clerk, make note of that. Alderman from the 20th, 59 and 58. Alderman from the 4th.
14th or the 4th?
4th. Alderman from the 4th. We can't hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was talking, but yeah. I would like to have my name also added to a resolution number 59 as well.
All right, Madam Clerk, please make note of that. Alderman from the 4th to 59. Alderman from the 7th. one more second, Alderman from the 14th. Let me get the Alderman from the 7th. I'll come right back.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I'd ask to be added to resolution 58 and 59, please.
Madam Clerk, please make note of that. The Alderman from the 7th, 58 and 59. For the first time, Alderman from the 12th, and then I'll come to you, Alderman from the 14th, if nobody else. Alderman from 12th.
Mr. President, I'd like my name also to be added to 58 and 59, please.
Madam Clerk, please make note of that. Alderman from the 12th, 58 and 59, and Alderman from the 14th, and then I'll come to the Alderman from the I can't hear you. You're muted.
Okay, sorry. I would like to propose we add the full Board of Aldermen's names to resolution 59, unless there's objections.
It'll be, once we get to first reading the resolutions, we'll take that up.
Oh, okay.
First reading the resolution. Yeah, Alderman from the 10th, and then the Alderman from 13th after that.
I was going to request M Bank also, Mr. President, but you can add my name if.
Okay, to 59. Alderman from the 13th.
Yes, I'm so sorry. I would like my name added to resolution 59 also. I'm sorry.
All right, Madam Clerk, please make note of that. All right, so it's been moved by the Alderman from 19th, seconded by the Alderman from the 14th, that we adopt our courtesy resolutions calendar. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. First reading resolutions.
Resolution 59, sponsored by.
Madam Clerk, we can barely hear you. I think you have to put that one in, the one with the mic.
I'm sorry. Okay, better?
Yeah, there we go.
All right.
Yeah.
Resolution 59, sponsored by President Reed and the following alderpersons: Alderwoman Davis, Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, Alderman John Collins Muhammad, Alderman Balmer, Alderwoman Murphy, Alderman Coatar, Alderwoman Evans, Alderwoman Spencer, Alderwoman Howard, and Alderwoman Grass, urging residents to vote no on Amendment 3, redistricting process and criteria, lobbying, and campaign finance.
All right. I think Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, Alderwoman from the 26th, you recognize on first reading of Resolution 59.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members of the board, I move for approval of Resolution 59.
Would you like to request unanimous consent?
Absolutely.
Hearing no objection, please proceed, Alderwoman. Now, would you like to make a motion for adoption of Resolution 59?
Yes, I would like to make the motion for full adoption of Resolution 59.
Second.
It's been moved by the Alderwoman from the 26th, seconded by the Alderman from the 22nd. Anything further, Alderwoman?
Yes, I would like to ask Madam Clerk if she could please read Resolution 59.
Madam Clerk, could you please read Resolution 59?
Resolution 59, Missouri Amendment 3, redistricting process and criteria, lobbying, and campaign finance. Whereas the City of St. Louis Board of Aldermen understands the importance of the upcoming election and supports the will of the people, therefore the Board of Aldermen opposes Amendment 3 and urges residents to vote no on Amendment 3. And whereas in 2018, Amendment 1, also known as Clean Missouri, passed with 62% of the votes. And whereas the 2018 amendment created the nonpartisan state demographic responsible for state legislator redistricting, Amendment 1 also prohibit the Missouri state legislature from passing laws allowing for unlimited campaign contributions to candidates for the state legislature and set campaign contribution limits for legislative candidates and candidate committees at $2,500 from one person to elect an individual to the state senate, and $2,000 from one person to select an individual to the state house. And whereas now Amendment 3 is undoing the will of the people, If Amendment 3 passes, it would eliminate the nonpartisan state demographic and use a bipartisan commission appointed to the governor for legislative redistricting. It would alter the criteria used to draw district maps and change the threshold of lobbyist gift from $5 to $0. And whereas we encourage all residents in the state of Missouri to vote no on Amendment 3 on November 3rd, 2020. Now therefore let it be resolved by the Board of Aldermen of the City of St. Louis that we urge residents to vote no on Amendment 3 on November 3rd, 2020. We further direct the clerk of this board to spread a copy of this resolution across the minutes of these proceedings and to prepare a commemorative copy to the end that it may be presented to our honoree at the time and place deemed appropriate by the sponsor. Introduced this 23rd day of October, 2020, the Honorable Louis E. Reed, President of the Board of Aldermen, and the following alderpersons: Alderwoman Davis, Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, Alderman Johns Colin Muhammad, Alderman Balmer, Alderwoman Murphy, Alderman Coatar, Alderwoman Evans, Alderwoman Spencer, Alderwoman Howard, and Alderwoman Grass.
Alderwoman from the 26th.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Hey. Excuse me.
The Alderwoman from the 26th still has the floor, Alderwoman. I'll call you in a minute. Alderwoman from the 26th.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. Again, resolution 59 goes hand in hand with our courtesy resolution 58. We just want to make a stance here in the city of St. Louis, along with the state of Missouri, to encourage all of our residents to vote no on Amendment 3 and continue the will of the people. Back in 2018, when Amendment 1 passed with 62% of the vote. So that's loud and resounding voice that this is what the people want. So we, again, are taking this stance along with our colleagues, along with hopefully our residents and our constituents, to vote no on Amendment 3. And with your permission, Mr. President, I wanted to yield my time to my colleague from the 19th, Alderwoman Davis, to speak on behalf of this resolution as well.
Okay. We've had Alderwoman Davis, could you hold for 1 second, because we had a couple aldermen that had their hands up for quite a while. Is that okay? Let me see. Davis. Alderwoman Davis, is that okay?
That is okay with me, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Alderman from the 23rd.
Yes, I thought my name was already on it, but I would think this would be the appropriate time to ask to make it in bank. But at least add my name, if not, but I would like to make the motion to make it in bank.
Okay, if you'd like to make the motion, you could. I don't know if that's what Alderwoman Davis was going to do, but you certainly, can add your name now or ask for in bank. I'm not sure if that's what
Well, I'll ask to make it in bank, and if that don't go, then I'll ask to add my name.
All right, it's been moved by the Alderman from 23rd to make resolution.
I'll second that, Mr. President.
Seconded by the Alderman from
Objection.
19th. There's been an objection to it, so we'll
Just please add my name.
yeah, add the Alderman from the 23rd. Right, thank you. Alderman from the 1st.
Never mind.
Okay. Alderman from the 19th.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. My colleague from the 26th, she had expressed it very clearly that this is another one of the reasons why we have problems with our democracy, how it flows, the ability to have people who rely on us to make decisions and also give them information to respect their will. Their vote is their will. They have spoken loud and clear. It is a disaster that we continue to have these types of antics performed by the state regulatory body of governance. And I am just really, really tired of it. But what we can do is we have to stand loud and clear and make sure that we give the understanding of how it will hurt our community. And we need to make sure that whatever we can do in the next few days, Many people have already voted, but we can continue to express the need to vote no. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. Alderwoman from the second.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to add my name to this resolution.
Madam Clerk, please make note of that. Add the Alderwoman from the second to the resolution. Alderwoman from the 27th.
Could you add my name, please, sir?
Madam Clerk, please make note of that. Add the Alderwoman from the 27th. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Alderman from the 18th.
Please add my name to the resolution.
Madam Clerk, please make note of that. Add the Alderman from the 18th. Any further discussion? Further discussion. Alderman from the 26th, you're recognized to close.
Thank you, Mr. President, and again, members of the board, and I appreciate the time to get on here and again, vote, push and encourage people to vote no along with my colleagues on Amendment 3. We know what it is. We know that the language was put in there to try to fool our voters and fool our constituents. And so we have to be loud and resounding making this stance to vote no against going against the will of the people and trying to put gerrymandering and map rigging policies back on the floor, and of course, campaign financing policies back on the floor that we made a resounding no against back in 2018. So thank you for the opportunity. And again, I would like for approval of Resolution 59.
All right. It's been moved by Alderman from 26, seconded by Alderperson from 22nd, that we adopt resolution 59. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 61, sponsored by Collins Muhammad, President Reed, and the following alderpersons: Alderman Boyd, Alderwoman Davis, Alderwoman Hubbard, Alderwoman Middlebrook, Alderwoman Evans, Alderman Bosley, Alderwoman Boyd, Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, Alderman Todd, and Alderwoman Howard, urging residents to vote no on Proposition D.
Alderman from the 21st, you recognize on first reading of Resolution 61.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll move for unanimous consent for resolution number 61.
Been a request for unanimous consent.
Objection.
Objection to unanimous consent. So
Object.
yeah, I recognize the objection, Alderman from the 9th. There's been an objection to unanimous consent. So Alderman from the 21st, a couple things you can do. You can move, suspend the
Mr. President.
Yeah.
Mr. President, can you direct the assistant clerk to read the resolution in its entirety, please?
Madam Clerk, please read resolution number 61.
Resolution 61, Proposition D. Whereas the City of St. Louis Board of Aldermen understands the importance of the upcoming election and informing voters on the issues, and whereas on March 18th, 2020, petitioners submitted 9,844 valid signatures to the City of St. Louis Board of Elections to certify Proposition D. And whereas the petition states that if passed, the City of St. Louis will establish an open, nonpartisan system for elections of the offices of Mayor, Comptroller, President of the Board of Aldermen, and Aldermen. It would enable voters to choose all candidates they wish in the open, nonpartisan primary. It will allow the top 2 candidates to then compete in a runoff general election. This is also known as approval voting. And whereas the Center for Election Science, based in San Francisco, California, is primarily funded these efforts, and the approval voting system in St. Louis. And the Center for Election Science also funded these efforts for the new approval voting system in Fargo, North Dakota. And whereas Fargo, North Dakota is the only city of 19,495 in the United States that has approval voting, and whereas if passed, Proposition D will disenfranchise voters, decrease voter turnout, and will eliminate the Democratic Party strongholds on the City of St. Louis. It will also cause candidates who want to run for office to have to raise significant amount of dollars. Now, therefore, let it be resolved by the Board of Aldermen of the City of St. Louis that we urge voters to vote no on Proposition D on November 3rd, 2020. We further direct the clerk of this board to prepare a formal copy of this resolution to the end that it may be presented to those deemed appropriate by the sponsor. Introduced this 23rd day of October 2020 by
Go ahead and finish.
the Honorable John Scholar Muhammad, the Honorable Louis Reed, President of the Board, and the following alderpersons: Alderman Boyd, Alderwoman Davis, Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, Alderwoman Middlebrook, Alderwoman Evans, Alderman Bosley, Alderwoman Boyd, Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, Alderman Todd, and Alderwoman Howard.
Alderman from the 21st.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I make the motion to suspend the rules to pass our resolution number 61.
All right, it's been moved by the Alderman from the 21st that we suspend the rules.
Second.
Seconded by the Alderman from the 14th. Any further discussion? Any further discussion on the motion to suspend? Alderman from the 9th, you have your hand up?
I did, Mr. President, and thank you. I was originally going to ask that we refer Resolution 61 to the Legislation Committee. I believe this is something that obviously does not have unanimous consent across the board here. And if we're going to be making recommendations of how we would like to have the City of St. Louis vote on certain propositions, I believe it would be important for us to hear both sides of the argument. So I believe that putting this resolution into the Legislation Committee would allow the proponents of Prop D to be able to have their say as well. So that's what I was going to say. Thank you.
All right, Alderman from the 23rd.
I had thought my name was on it. I want to make sure my name is on it. Okay. And my understanding is that there is now a motion to take a vote.
Yeah, to suspend the rules. So,
and please make sure and add my name.
All right, Madam Clerk, please add the Alderman from the 23rd's name to the resolution. It's been moved by the Alderman from 21st, seconded by the Alderman from the 14th, that we suspend the rules for the purposes of adopting resolution number 61. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Tyus.
Aye.
Alderwoman Middlebrook.
Aye.
Alderman Bosley.
Aye.
Alderwoman Evans. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Alderwoman Evans.
Aye.
Alderwoman Hubbard.
Aye.
Alderwoman Ingrassia.
No.
Alderman Coatar.
No.
Alderwoman Rice.
No.
Alderman Gunther.
No.
Alderman Balmer.
Aye.
Alderwoman Martin.
No.
Alderwoman Grass.
Aye.
Alderwoman Murphy.
Present.
Alderwoman Howard.
Aye.
Alderwoman Green.
No.
Alderman Oldenburg. Alderman Rhodey.
Aye.
Alderman Todd.
Aye.
Alderwoman Davis.
Aye.
Alderwoman Spencer. Alderman Muhammad.
Aye.
Alderman Boyd.
Aye.
Alderman Vaccaro.
Aye.
Alderman Narayan.
No.
Alderman Cone.
Present.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard.
Aye.
Alderwoman Boyd.
Aye.
Alderwoman Navarro.
No.
President Reed.
Aye.
Alderman Oldenburg. Alderwoman Spencer. 17 aye votes, 8 no votes, and 2 present.
By your vote, you failed to sustain the motion, Alderman from the 21st. Alderman from the 21st, would you like to?
Thank you, Mr. President. I make the motion to send resolution number 61 to the Rules, Resolutions, and Credentials Committee.
Second.
Been moved by Alderman from the 21st. Entertain a second on that.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman from the 22nd. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried.
That is the extent of first reading resolution.
Second reading,
We have none.
miscellaneous and unfinished business. Alderwoman from the 20th.
Thank you, Mr. President. As we discussed briefly earlier, I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules for the introduction of Board Bill 153.
Second.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 20th and seconded by the Alderman from the 9th. Any discussion?
Thank you, Mr. President. As you indicated earlier, this is an important opportunity for the city of St. Louis to receive grant funding to address STDs within our city. And as you mentioned earlier, it's important that we get this done quickly. And so I'm hopeful that we can get this introduced today and get a hearing on the books next week to move this along.
Been moved and seconded. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Tyus,
Aye.
Alderwoman Middlebrook,
Aye.
Alderman Bosley,
Aye.
Alderwoman Evans,
Aye.
Alderwoman Hubbard, Alderwoman,
Aye.
Alderwoman Ingrassia,
Aye.
Alderman Coatar,
Aye.
Alderwoman Rice,
Aye.
Alderman Gunther,
Aye.
Alderman Balmer,
Aye.
Alderwoman Martin,
Aye.
Alderwoman Grass,
Aye.
Alderwoman Murphy,
Aye.
Alderwoman Howard,
Aye. Aye.
Alderwoman Green,
Aye.
Alderman Oldenburg, Alderman Rhodey, Alderman Todd,
Aye.
Alderwoman Davis,
Aye.
Alderwoman Spencer,
Aye.
Alderman Muhammad, Alderwoman Boyd,
Aye.
I'm sorry, Alderman Boyd,
Okay.
Alderman Vaccaro,
Aye.
Alderman Narayan,
Aye.
Alderman Cone,
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard,
Aye.
Alderwoman Boyd, Alderwoman Navarro,
Aye.
President Reed,
Aye.
Alderman Oldenburg, Alderman Rhodey, Alderman Muhammad,
Aye.
Alderwoman Boyd. "26 aye votes.
By the vote, you sustain the motion of Alderman from the 20th and introduce Board Bill 153. Madam Clerk, before we move on, Alderman from the 20th On the previous vote for first reading of resolutions, I think your name was called twice, but we didn't hear anything from you. I just want to make sure because that was only a minute ago that we called that. And per our rules, if you're on the floor, you're required to vote.
Thank you, Mr. President.
I want to make sure that, because I know you're, go ahead.
This was for the previous resolution. I apologize. I tried to unmute myself to vote present for that. That was for the suspension of the rules?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure. All right. Thank you. Alderman from the 23rd?
Yeah, but I counted the votes and I counted 17.
Yes, we needed 18.
Okay.
2/3 majority.
Mr. President, I think there were others who were also on the floor, but
yeah, but anyone else hasn't come back yet. So you came back right away. So that's why I wanted to make sure your vote was.
Mr. President.
Yes, Alderman from 26.
27.
27. I do that to you all the time.
That's okay. You okay? That's a good comparison. But I was voted aye. I kept getting muted, so I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I think.
I kept getting muted.
Yeah, I think we had Madam Clerk, you had all the ones from the 27th registered as aye on the resolution 61. Did you?
Okay, you said 61?
Point of order.
Yes.
Right.
Hold on for a second.
Yes. She was aye. Yes.
All right. Perfect.
Was she talking about? Because I'm sorry, was she talking about 153 or resolution?
No, it's 61. She's just replying about 61.
Yes.
All right.
Point of order.
Who's requesting a point of order?
15.
Alderman from the 15th. Yes.
We just like clarification on when we decide to go back in time and redo things and when
that's what we're doing right now.
Because you know, you wouldn't go back for Alderwoman from the 20th, but now you're going back to redo votes that people missed.
Who's going back? Alderman from the 15th, can you point to me where I'm going back to redo votes?
You are now having people vote who did not vote when their name was called.
Nobody has voted. I don't know where you get that. I don't know how you see that. Nobody's voted other than the people that have already voted. So please understand that nobody has voted. The voting is over.
So did Alderwoman from the 1st and Alderwoman from the 22nd record a vote when you asked about resolutions, when the vote was called for resolution 61?
The Alderwoman from the 1st and the Alderwoman from the 22nd, you're free to ask the clerk after the meeting. The Alderwoman from the 26th asked if her vote was recorded, and the clerk said yes. She did not register another vote. Please, the only way you can register, the only way you can vote on something is if it's before the board and I have put it to the board for a vote. Nothing else has been put to the board for a vote. All the one from the 20th said earlier in the meeting she was having technical difficulties. Then right after the vote on resolution 61, all of a sudden she popped up to do the suspension of the rules. So I wanted to make sure she wasn't having further technical difficulties, because if indeed she voted, you have an opportunity to, based on the rules of the Board of Aldermen, to submit a letter to the clerk explaining your vote and submit a letter to the journal, right? So if, for example, she wanted to vote no on it, and hold on a second, you need to understand the way this works. If she wanted to vote no on it and she voted no, right? But for whatever reason, it wasn't recorded, I needed to let her know that she could send a letter that would be part of the journal to assure that what she wanted to do was recorded in the journal. She could have sent a letter saying, hey, I had technical difficulties. I wanted my vote to be recorded as no, but it wasn't there. So that was.
From my understanding, you are making sure they're recorded in the journal, but you are not going back to the previous item that we had already passed and asking them to record their votes now.
Can you tell me where I would have went back and how I could take additional votes? The only way you can do that is what?
That is what my point of order is asking for clarification on whether we're going back to a past agenda item that we had already.
That's not possible. That's not possible. Well, I would have to put an item before you for you to vote on it.
I was just clarifying that was not what was happening. So since that is not what was happening, we are free to leave this at this point in time. Thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah, but for future reference, the only way it would happen. So here's what you would have to hear from me. It's been moved by the Alderman X and seconded by Alderwoman or Alderman Y. All in favor signify by saying, right? And that's when I put a vote to the board. That's when you put a vote. That's the only way, only time a vote will be taken, right? Or if it's a roll call vote, I said, Madam Clerk, please call the roll. Other than that, the votes are done, right? And once the thing's adopted or failed, it's done, right? But if someone's having technical difficulties and I see they pop up right after, it's important for them to understand that they can still put a letter in the journal explaining their vote, right? So that's what I was attempting to do, but it appears that I don't think you understood the rules and the way it works and how you put what the process for putting the vote, but we'll move forward. Madam Clerk, please place Board Bill 153 on first reading and read the forward.
Board Bill 153, sponsored by Alderwoman Spencer. An ordinance authorizing and directing the acting director of the City of St. Louis Department of Health to accept a grant from the Department of Health and Human Services Centers for Disease Control and Prevention as a cooperative agreement known as the Community-Based Approaches to Reducing Sexually Transmitted Diseases grant to find a multi-jurisdictional, cross-sector, community-centered approach to address policies and practices that impact disproportionately the STI/HIV burden on young Black men, upon approval of the Board of Estimate and Apportionment, and to expend funds by entering into contracts or otherwise for the grant purposes and contain an emergency clause. That is the extent of first reading of board bills.
Alderman from the first.
I was trying to speak to the issue before, so I'll just wait to the end and speak to that because we've gone past that again.
All right, thanks, Alderman. Announcements. Madam Clerk, please assign assign Board Bill 153 to Health.
So noted.
Announcements.
Wednesday, October 28th, 2020, Rules will have a meeting at 10 a.m. via webinar. Thursday, October 29th, Public Utilities will have a meeting at 9 a.m. via webinar. Friday, October 30th, 2020, full board meeting, 10 a.m. via webinar. That is the extent of the announcement.
Alderman from the 24th.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just wanted to announce that the St. Louis Young Democrats is going to be having their Boo Wave virtual party this Saturday night at 7 p.m. All the details to it are on their Facebook.
All right, thank you. Alderman from the 21st.
Thank you, Mr. President. Next week on the 31st, we will be celebrating the former alderman from the 4th Ward, Alderman Sam Moore's birthday. I will make that announcement next week as well. And today is our former colleague's birthday, the former alderman from the 24th Ward, Scott Ogilvie. So happy birthday to Scott.
Happy birthday, Scott.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, Alderwoman from the first, I want to make sure to come back to you. Alderwoman from the first. You're muted.
Yes, Mr. President, members of the board. I was just going to add that you asked which way could someone come back and vote. You can always do a motion to reconsider if you were on the prevailing side. So just as the chair of the rules, I want to put that into the air so that people will know. If you don't get to vote, you can have one of your colleagues who voted on the prevailing side to do a motion. And if you get the required number of votes, you then can have your vote recorded.
Yeah. Thanks, Alderwoman. That was a very good point. Alderwoman from the 20th.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to announce a Health and Human Services Committee hearing next Thursday, October 29th at 10 a.m. We'll be hearing the bill that we just introduced today, and I will also be entertaining issues that my colleagues may have related to health or other things that we'd like to consider. So if you'd like to hear something, please let me know.
All right, thank you, Alderwoman. Alderman from the 22nd.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I want to make some selfish announcements. Next week, on the 27th, I want to say happy birthday to the best brother in the whole wide world, Mildred Griffin, who's a 27th Ward resident.
Happy birthday, Mr. Griffin.
Yay.
Also, I would like to say happy anniversary to a woman who has blessed me with 30 years of marriage, my wife, Patrice. We're celebrating 30 years of marriage next Tuesday, October 27th. So happy birthday to my wife, Patrice. I mean, happy anniversary.
You should say happy anniversary to Saint Patrice because
that's
right. Happy anniversary, Patrice. All right. Anything further? Alderwoman from the 2nd.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I would like to send a happy birthday to one of my youngest residents. I had the pleasure of meeting her on October the 26th, 3 years ago, 5 days before my first Board of Aldermen election. Miss Cree Autumn Middlebrook will be turning 3 on Monday.
Wow.
And she will be celebrating this weekend with her cupcakes and her cake. And as she calls it, her ice cream bread, better known as ice cream sandwiches. We will have just family celebrating with her. She is super excited. She has learned to use the phone. So if she happens to call any of you that are in my phone contacts, please appease her. She states her name. She says, "Hi, I'm Cree. Who are you?" So happy birthday, Cree Autumn Middlebrook, and thank you.
All right, let's say happy birthday to Cree.
Happy birthday.
And we used to make sugar sandwiches, ice cream sandwiches. Well, we didn't have any money, so we get white bread, sugar, and it was good stuff. That was all that was left in the kitchen.
Why are you telling our secrets?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, all the women from the 19th, and then all the women from the 26th after that.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to remind all of our wonderful constituents who are still trying to find a way to celebrate Halloween for our young folks. So please look online for the health department to get some great guidelines and suggestions on how to celebrate in a safe way. They are more than happy to help you, and they do have some great ideas online already. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Alderman from the 26th.
Thank you, Mr. President and members of the board. I would like to say happiest birthday to my grandfather and 4th Ward constituent, Richard A. Simmons, well-known athletic director for Sumner High School for his whole tenure in SLPS. He served at Sumner High School during the years where they were state champions. Right there on the corner, everybody knows his name, everybody knows his house. He is turning 99 tomorrow.
What?
And right now, he's
driving
around somewhere, gone somewhere with my grandmother, because my grandmother just called me. So I just want to take the time to say happy birthday, Grandpa. We love you. 99, here we come. And Miss Alderwoman Evans, you got to call your constituent tomorrow. Wish him a happy birthday.
Yeah,
Will do.
Let's do happy birthday. 99. Wow, that's amazing. I also want to just say welcome home to my son, Max. A lot of you knew him because he interned with me from the time he was 4. up until a time when they become, mid-teens where they don't want to hang out with you anymore. And he joined the Army. Alderman Boyd, he joined the Army and he went to boot camp, and now he's back. And he surprised us. He wasn't supposed to be back for a week, and he and my other son, Sam, surprised us, and he showed up, which was amazing. So welcome home, Max. I want to just tell you, welcome home, and thanks for your service.
Welcome home.
All right, anything further? Alderman from the 22nd, you're recognized on the motion to excuse.
Mr. President, members of the board, I move to excuse the alderman from the 16th ward due to necessary absence.
Moved by the alderman from the 22nd. Entertain a second on that motion.
Second.
Second by the alderman from the 10th. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Motion carries. Alderman from the 22nd, you recognized on the motion to adjourn.
Mr. President, members of the board, I move to adjourn until next Friday, October 30th, 2020 at 10 a.m.
Second.
Moved by the alderman from the 22nd, seconded by the alderman from the 10th, and a whole bunch of others that I didn't catch. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We stand adjourned. Thanks all for a great meeting. See y'all next week. Have a good, safe weekend and a good week next week.